I have a job for you. Now, normally, under normal conditions, 4 chuckle fucks pulling a stunt like that, 2 of you getting caught, sneaking into the maintenance wing, going under quarter arrest, and then busting yourselves out. Normally, yeah, you'd get just shot out of the vault real quick. Normally.
But Aunt's baby.
Yeah, well...
Aunt's baby, Max.
Do you say that in character?
No.
Normally. Now, I don't think I agree with your motives, but maybe that's just because Isaiah's my son. But I can tell the 4 of you are able to put a plan together and get something done. Does that sound reasonable?
Yes.
Yes, can I please say something?
Uh-huh.
Isaiah is a little bitch and a bully, and
Okay.
you should
Okay.
probably fix that.
Look, he's troubled.
He used a skeletal enhancer and nearly killed a kid just because of lunch money. I don't
He's
think
troubled.
troubled is not the right word.
Fix your son.
He's a little bit troubled.
Ma'am, I don't
Warlock
think...
mentally disturbed.
Let's not be mean about it. I would say, yeah, troubled maybe isn't
He
a
nearly
strong
killed
enough
me.
word, but he hurt some people. Maybe some punishment is in order.
Some?
Hey, real quick, did we
He's-
level up?
That was Mandy.
Oh.
You're going to.
Oh, okay.
This session, I think. Anyway, let's move on from talking about my son, huh?
Oh, we're all level 1
There-
yet. Yeah?
We're all level 1
Okay,
right
okay,
now.
just make it sure.
At the end of this session, you guys will be leveling up. Well, sort of in the middle of the session. Anyway, there's a job I need you to do. I sent some scouts out last night, because of a certain radio call we got, and there's a robot we need. And as far as we know, that robot might have information about the location of food, like actual food. Not like the stuff that you've been eating all your life, real food.
Like green goo?
Not, I mean, I'm sure some of it might be green goo, like, what, coleslaw? I think that's, like, basically green goo.
What's coleslaw?
Guacamole.
It's basically green goo. Guacamole? That voice in my head said that. That's weird. Point is, it might have information about the location of food. And as far as we know, I sent some scouts out last night. 3 people were dragging the robot, to the east. We believe toward Deadhorse. Right? And, I'll get you a map so you guys can get to Deadhorse. But I have 2 jobs for you. This is important. 1, I need you, all 4 of you, to beat them to Deadhorse and retrieve the robot. Yeah, I know. I said the title. That
No,
title,
I
roll
was like,
credits.
pun.
2, I need you to find out who they are, why they're here. Are they friendly? Are they hostile? I don't know. We assume they're from Deadhorse, because why else would they be bringing them there? But, I mean, do you have any questions?
Why would they name the town after a dead animal?
That's what it's called.
That is the least satisfactory answer I ever fucking heard, man.
They called it that. That's just, I mean,
It
look,
was actually named by a dead horse.
a dead horse went there, decided, I'm going to put a town here, I'm going to name it after myself, died, and then proceeded to name the town Deadhorse. And then over time, the space went away, and now it's just one word, Deadhorse.
So, wait. So this dead horse decided to come back as a ghost and then name itself the Dead Horse so it can name the town after itself Dead Horse. Or did he know he was going to die and decide to change his name to Dead Horse? Or was this dead horse named Dead Horse by birth?
No, the horse was named Friday.
Thank you.
Friday the Dead.
Thank you for this wonderful reference.
It's such a stupid. The horse rode into town on Friday, died, and then left town on Friday.
Wait, so was the horse riding a horse named Friday, or?
The horse rode itself. And then died. And then rode itself out of...
How does that work, ma'am?
It named the town Deadhorse. It's a dead horse.
Life before the bombs dropped must have been something else.
I know, there were like all kinds of like mutants before the bombs dropped, and then this is how it
Oh,
works.
thank God everything's normal now.
Yeah, everything's normal now. Probably, I think.
By the way, why are you sending 2 teenagers out into the wild to collect a robot?
I mean, you guys are 16. You guys are basically adults. You can handle yourselves.
Hey,
I mean, you proved yourselves last night.
why don't you send out your son, Isaiah? He's practically an adult.
Because he's a little shit.
I mean, weren't you just talking about how he needs to be punished?
What better way to punish someone than some good old character building in the nuclear wastelands?
Than by trusting him to the fate of our soon-to-be new establishment? I don't think so.
Okay, at least you're admitting that your son is the most irresponsible being in this entire vault.
I'm gonna keep him on a short leash, let's say that. Not a metaphorical leash, though. Like, not like a weird, like, it's not weird. It's just...
Oh,
okay.
so you're actually leashing him. Okay.
No, I'm not. No, like, metaphorical, like...
I thought you just said it was a metaphor.
No, a metaphorical leash. It's not a real, like, that's weird and creepy. No, gross. Ew, gross. Who would put another person on a leash? Gross.
You know.
Wait, that's not normal?
I don't know, one time...
Who are you, and why are you talking directly into my head?
Hey,
Oh no,
Aunt.
one time my family got really upset. I was like 5, and I kept wandering off, so they basically just put a rope around they just made me hold on to a rope, and I wasn't allowed to let go of it. So they wouldn't lose me.
Oh, I remember that. Yeah, that was when we had the group picnic in the... Yeah.
Yeah.
Because you kept stealing the other kids' like balls.
Yeah, I wanted to play with the balls.
Yeah, and they got all wet in the grass. They were wet balls.
Yeah. Okay, Max. God, I can't
And they were
keep
starting
a
to
straight
sag a little bit
face.
because the air was getting out. But you kept stealing the balls, and they were all wet.
Max, I can't fucking keep this like straight. I can't continue with this because I'm starting. Yeah, those balls were pretty wet.
They were sagging.
No! Oh my God.
They were small enough that you could fit one in each hand. They were my voice is changing, you know? Like
Max, this is
Overseer Flora is just
Max,
turning
this
into
is not an
Tyrone.
appropriate time to talk about balls.
Papa Skuff, do you have anything to say about the current situation?
No, I don't. I'm just down to go, man. I'm ready to go and
Murder.
go explore the wilderness.
I think Overseer Flora, she popped out a cigarette earlier, and I think she did, and she's now putting it. She's like doing the thing where she smashes it in the ashtray, and she says, "Before the 4 of you head out, I do actually have something to give you all." And
present?
Yeah, they're presents. You know, Christmas is nowhere near. It's the middle of the summer. But, you know, I bet in some alternate timeline where they're listening to us talking at this very second, Christmas would be coming up.
Hey, Aunt.
I bet in a different universe it would be December 8th.
8th.
Hey, Aunt. I think I found where Isaiah gets all the crazy.
Yeah. I think it's
what do you mean by that?
Nothing.
Wait, so you're calling me crazy?
I didn't say that.
Hey, Skuff!
That's me.
Yeah, Tyrone pops up behind you and like puts his like things on I don't know what they're called, his like feelers or whatever on your shoulders, and he's like, call her crazy.
Feelers, aren't those called like hams?
No, it's a cockroach.
Well, I can't argue with you, Dad. Hey, Ms. Overseer, my dad told me to tell you that you're crazy. As I, like, kind of lean up against the wall.
I'm so glad you did that. I'm so glad you went with it. Okay.
Well, of course.
So you
I'm
mean to
going-
tell me I'm crazy?
I mean, that's what...
Where's your dad?
Well, he was here a second ago.
Yeah, and he just like kind of like has disappeared. You turn over your shoulder, he's gone. He was just there.
Yeah, it was right over there. But, he's busy doing stuff.
Dad stuff.
Yeah. So I think she sort of she gets up. She stands up from the chair. It's like a rolling chair. She slides it back, and under the desk she pulls out this like metal crate, filled with. I mean, not filled, but there are some weapons in there. And I mean, basically, this is just gonna be where you guys are all getting all the weapons on your character sheets. But for the sake of the audience, what do you pull out of this crate? She says, "I got some weapons in here. Just for the road. What do you guys all take?" And by that I mean, what do you have on the character sheet?
I got a security baton and a fucking gun!
So what kind of gun is it? It's a 10mm, right?
A 10mm.
Alright.
Ant is probably the one person you should not trust with a gun because I don't think they have active, like, gun safety classes in this vault. So she's probably gonna, like, do something really stupid. Like, try to look right into the barrel or something.
Dude, what the fuck?
What?
Looking at my character sheet, and I wrote something down. I don't know what it is. I'm just going to erase it, and then you'll be like, "Hey, don't you have that one thing?" And I'll be like, "Oh shit, that's what that was." Boom, problem solved.
Yeah. Mandy actually grabs a laser pistol from the crate, and she starts inspecting it, and she's like, "Where did you find this?" And the Overseer just like looks at her and shrugs, and she just says, "I didn't find them. Some of the maintenance guys found them." And Howard pulls out a 10mm like you, Ant, and
Hey, gun buddies! And I'm gonna basically try to fucking, like
we
toast
are
with his
not
gun.
We're not gun buddies. No.
Oh.
No.
Well, what about regular buddies?
No. Not really.
Oh. Gun acquaintances?
Mandy walks up to you and she says, "Shh, it's okay," and she hugs you. And she glares at Howard like.
I'm gonna kind of poke around in the box and like, "Hey, got any chems?"
Hey, bum. Got any chems? Why would I have drugs
I mean,
in this weapons crate?
I don't know. I'm just asking,
Maybe you should be a bit more discreet about your desire for chems.
Well, maybe you should be more discreet on giving out chems to people who ask.
I don't know what you're talking about. I've never done that in my life.
Well, I want chems.
Isn't that right, Mandy? I've never done that in my life.
Oh yeah?
I'm not bailing you out of this one, Howard.
Okay. Well, I don't have nothing in here is looking at my fancy. Just take it here. I'm like shove the box.
All I need is Big Skuff.
All I need is Big Skuff and these 3 instances of jet that I have tucked in my back pocket.
Would you like some? What? You're not supposed to have that.
Well, I do, and it's mine. If you want some, you're gonna have to pay me for them.
Well, you know what? If you can get the job done, I'll let you keep them. How's that?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't like gonna just give them to you, but yeah, okay. I'm good with that. I'm down with that. Let's, yeah.
I wasn't just gonna give them to you. Totally misunderstanding the authority here. I love it. All right, so you guys all pull out that, and she says, all right, and one last thing. Since you guys are going to be leaving the camp we're going to be setting up, I have a couple things that I'm going to give each of you. And she reaches into a drawer under the desk. It's like one of those really deep ones, you know?
Mm-hmm.
And she slides it open, and she says, come here. And she kind of wags you all over with a finger.
That sounds like we're going to be shoved into a drawer and stuff like it.
It's not that. It's like a foot deep, maybe.
I know. Aunt's going to come over and you go look in the drawer.
Inside of the drawer, you see it's like a long, just rectangular screen almost, with some dials on it, and it has like a strap to wrap around your arm. And the Overseer says, in this drawer I have 4 Pip-Boy 6900s.
Holy shit. I don't know what those are.
They're Pip-Boy 6900s, of course.
I seriously...
So essentially, these are personal computers, and she pulls one out of the drawer, and she says, Aunt, can you hold up your left arm?
Okay. She holds up her left.
Actually, hold up your non-dominant arm.
She holds up her right arm.
Wait, did you call it a 69,000?
6,900.
6,900. That's what I said.
69.
Yeah, that was the joke. That's what I said. So you're correct. Overseer Flora, she wraps it around your right arm, and it fits perfectly. I mean, it doesn't hurt. You can barely feel the weight of it. She wraps it around your right arm, pulls the buckle, and it just kind of snaps on. And it springs to life. You see, like, almost like a little menu. And it displays all of the items you just picked up on it.
Does this have any games on it?
So, you might have to go find those.
You find games? Doesn't even have, like, Snake installed on it, or...
It's got Fallout 76.
Wait.
Oh, no, that's just useless.
I mean, what kind
That's useless. No, you might have to find some games somewhere out in the wild. It's basically a personal computer. I mean, it does item management. It has a map on it. It has radio in it. Health management. There's all sorts of stuff that's gonna be very useful for you out in the wilderness. And she gives one to each of you in the room.
I put it on my arm.
I'm surprised you didn't put it on your leg.
To use it as a fucking house arrest.
What do you think Papa Skuff is, an idiot?
Overseer Flora, I think I done made a mistake.
It's on my fucking neck. I used it as a joker collar.
No, weren't we just talking about how leashes on people is weird? Not to kink shame or anything. No, you just put it on your arm, right?
Yeah, no, this is on my arm.
Alright. Well, I think that's about it. So do you guys... in a little bit, we're gonna get everyone out of this vault. After that, you guys will probably have until about noon to collect yourselves at Camp Barrow and, explore the ruins a little bit. But then, after that, you guys are gonna leave and head to the east.
I have a question.
Mm-hmm.
How likely is it that we're going to die?
I mean, with the weapons I gave you, that risk will go down, but... I mean, you gotta understand, going out onto the North Slope, going out into the wastelands, it's gonna be hard for everyone. It's something we gotta do.
Okay.
Anything else? Alright, then. Let's get everyone to the door. For the past, hour or so, these people who have sort of taken you have been dragging you across the ruins of a town. The sun is out. out, it's still wet, but the sun is peeking out from behind the clouds, snow is falling, but they have been dragging you across this town. What have you been doing while they've been dragging you? Have you been, scanning through your drives or anything?
So they're, forcibly dragging me?
I mean, they're carrying you, and you don't really know.
Oh, am I not, floating or whatever?
I imagine, I mean, I'd say, if you were willing to go cooperatively, they would have let you.
Yeah, I'm willing to cooperate.
Then, yeah, you would be, floating alongside next to them, but you're floating or walking or whatever it is that...
Okay.
Actually, now I want to check. How does a Mr. Handy...
Well, from the pictures I've seen, it seems like they're sort of jet propelled.
Yeah, so what have you been doing in that time?
I guess just trying to remember anything. Do I remember anything?
So, I mean, I would imagine trying to remember would pertain to, scanning through your drives, right?
Yeah.
Alright, I guess you could...
Find whatever this information is they're looking for?
You could probably roll an...
Fuck, where are my dice?
Just a perception save, I guess.
So that's the percentile thing again?
Yeah, the 2 dice.
71? Do I add anything to that?
You add your perception save and your skills.
71 plus 18.
Alright, so an 89. That's a good roll. So with an 89, you scan through your C drive, right? That's just your main drive.
Okay.
It's largely empty, actually. I mean, it has your operating system in it, and just it pretty much has your operating system, the equivalent of a Windows or a System 32 folder, basically has that. And then you it's strange. You see one file kind of just sitting there in the top level folder, the C folder.
Okay.
And that file is titled Marcus-2.vscf.
All right. I want to look in that folder.
So that's not a folder, that's a single file.
Oh.
Just sitting there in the top level folder. It's not particularly big. I mean, it's the biggest file on...
What's the file extension?
.vscf.
.vscf. So is that something I can run? I guess I'll try to run it.
You're not able to run it with anything on your operating system.
Okay.
All you know is that it's titled Marcus-2. And you can tell that it's the biggest file on your drive, but it's not, huge, right? It is the biggest file on your drive.
I guess for now, I'm just going to assume that's my name.
All right, yeah. You can go ahead and assume, write Marcus on your character sheet or whatever.
Marcus question mark?
That works. You're able to dig up a few log files. I mean, there's a whole bunch of log files, and it's just information about, crash reports and stuff like that. But you notice a lot of these log files reference a drive that you can't find. An E drive. A missing E drive. It'll list folders just pertaining to... Usually they're dated, right? Usually, date-based folders by, let's say, by month. By month of each year, and they all seem to be in this missing E drive, which you can't access. Other than that, there's not really much going on in your file system.
All right. So what's happening in the real world while this is going
on? So these 3, I forget, did I tell you what they were called? Their group name was?
I don't think so.
These 3 men are leading you to... You see it off on the edge. There's a little camp, kind of right on the outskirts of this used-to-be town. It's a few tents, 3 bobsleds headed by... there are these... They look like wolves, right? They're very large, though. And they have these twisted, mangled teeth. and very large, threatening claws, but they're kind of just lying there, kind of taking naps in front of these bobsleds. One of them's fucking licking its crotch. Disgusting.
Fucking animal.
Fucking animals. And then there's like a little campfire set up. It's not on. It's not on. It's not it's not lit. The fire's not on. How do I turn on?
I got you.
It's like one of those boomer comics. This fire isn't on. It's not lit. But it's just like a ring of rocks and like some logs. And then there's like a few portable benches around that. And there are, let's say, 5 or 6 people sitting on these benches just kind of chatting, and they all look up at you. And wave at the other people there who are leading you.
Okay.
I think the highest ranked member of the group who was leading you, he waves at them and says, "Oh, have you guys finished your searches?" And the other guys kind of wave back and nod, and they said, "Yeah, we actually finished this 24-pack. Or we actually finished. Nope, we found this 24-pack in one of the houses, and some jet. But since your birthday is this weekend, why don't you have one?" And they kind of like toss one over to the guy. "I probably shouldn't be drinking. We need to be focused for the journey back." And he tosses the beer back to the guys there. And
I guess I'm gonna ask the people dragging me around, so, what's gonna happen next?
he says, "I mean, we're gonna have to head. We're gonna wait for the rest of us to group up, and we're gonna head out. Probably be a couple hours before everyone comes back." And one of the other guys sitting around the fire says, "But if we wait, I mean, the guys at Deadhorse are probably just gonna take the beer when we get back, and then you won't have anything for your birthday." And he kind of just like sighs, and he's like, "Can we talk about this in a little bit?
Sure.
Look, I mean, we could just hide it, smuggle it into town, mix it in with some of Jin's hot chocolate." And a couple of the guys around the campfire just start laughing. One of them looks up at you and says, "You have a name?"
Oh, I'm Marcus.
"Marcus?" The guy who was tossed a beer, he looks at you and says, "It's not what you said earlier, but alright. I guess we'll probably be a while before we get back to Deadhorse. So might as well introduce myself. I'm Lieutenant Chin." And he holds out a hand. And then he realizes you don't really have...
I think I have like weird little claw grabby things.
Yeah, he holds out a hand and he's like, hi.
I guess I, colon close parenthesis, hold out a hand and shake it.
Alright, yeah.
Pleasure to meet you.
Here, why don't we sit by the fire with the rest of these guys? Why don't you guys get that lit? It's freezing. And one of the subordinates says, "Yes, sir, right away." And they head into the tent real quick and grab some gear and light the fire real quick. So is there anything you want to, like, ask now that they're in a more chatty mood?
No.
No?
I honestly can't think of anything.
You know, I haven't even seen any other search parties. One of the subordinates says to Lieutenant Chin, and he says, "Who knows if we'll even be able to leave today? I think you should have the beer." And Lieutenant Chin looks over at you and says, "Well, we got a robot here. Why don't we let the robot decide? What do you think? Should I have the beer?"
Let me generate a random number to decide whether or not you should have that beer.
Alright, yeah.
If it's odd, no beer. If it's even, beer.
That sounds fair.
It's odd.
Wait, is that no beer or is that beer?
I say no beer.
Alright. And the Lieutenant Chin kind of smiles back at them and smirks. What the robot says goes. No beer. And the subordinates kind of shrug themselves and they kind of pocket the beer. I was like, I'll save that for later. Or I guess they put it in like a little bag. I mean, they all have backpacks. It's a long journey. Well, I mean, we found this radio in town also, so we'll see if they're playing any music from Deadhorse, huh? And Lieutenant Chin nods and says, "Yeah, sure." So they boot up the radio. It's like an old, like those old radios. It's like a wood box one.
All right.
Has like a wood polish on it. Like very metallic dials on it. And they sort of fiddle with the dial for a little bit, till they get a frequency. It's very staticky. But after a minute, it picks up a signal.
Oh.
That last song was called Hit Me Up by Roger Stevens. In a bit, we're going to play another Roger Stevens song, but first things first, people of Deadhorse, you may want to be careful. There have been reports a little bit down south of a very large mutant polar bear attacking some of the villages down there. So, I recommend you stay inside when night comes. For now, here is a song by Roger Stevens. This is Let Me See. And, the song kicks in. It's a very nice guitar song. Everybody there just kind of starts laughing and talking about stuff. They break out into conversation. And you can tell, these are people that have been around each other for a very long time. I wanna go home. I wanna be where the animals roam. I don't think I could be so far away from where the people used to live and where my family used to be. Oh, why's the world now look so dim? Oh, please, God, let me see. Please, God, let me see. I wanna go to town. I wanna be where the history goes down. I wanna be right where the people are today. Where did the people used to live? Where did my family used to be? Oh God, you just don't know what I'd give if you just let me see. Please, God, let me see. All that history, it's just so far away. Oh, what I would give just to see for a day. Oh, I'd kill a man and then I'd die myself, if only I can for once see someone else. Please let me see. Please, God, let me see all that history. Please, God, let me be. Please, God, let me see.
I gotta go meet up with my parents, my family.
Oh, I was
Just
hoping you were
minutes.
just gonna go and have you forget about that, and then I was just gonna mention it 5 minutes after we've left and continued on with this. Be like, hey, don't you have parents?
My parents! Oh no!
Like a fucking Pokemon adventure. Like, hey, you should probably talk to your mom. Like Pokemon adventure bullshit.
New quest. Talk to your mother.
Quest objective. Survive.
Call your mom. She misses you.
She can't speak, though. She's still mute. No, so you guys are led down, the security guys are back. They lead you guys down toward the door. To the big open vault door, right? Mr. Smith, the Smiths are there, right? Is there anything you guys want to say to them?
Hi. I'm gonna wave.
Where were you at?
Oh, I think the Overseer want to talk to us. We're going on a dangerous death mission.
What?
You should, if you have a problem with it, you should probably go take it up with her.
No, what are you doing?
Going on a dangerous death mission?
Okay, where are you going?
Oh, we're going to Deadhorse.
You're going to... You're not fucking going to Deadhorse, Aunt. You're not. No, you're gonna stay in Camp Barrow with the two of us, and we're gonna do what everyone else is doing. You're not leaving.
Well,
you're not
hey,
going to Deadhorse.
Hold on. I have something to say here, Mrs. or Mr. Insert last name here.
Smith.
Smith.
It's
That's
not.
it.
It's Smith.
Smith.
Like the last name of last names.
All right,
The
Smith.
holy grail of last names.
Here.
Smith.
Don't worry, I'm going with, and I can handle myself. And now, if you do get worried, if you look up before you leave the vault, if you look up in the air vent, I left a Cheeto up there for you.
The pinnacle
We
of
have to come up with a
comfort.
knockoff name. Sorry, no, we have to stop the podcast. All right, what are Cheetos called? I think I like puffy cheese nuts.
I left a nondescript generic brand cheese puff up in the
I
Trying to
like
think
the
of like an
idea
animal
cheese
pun.
nuts.
cheese
Cheese
nuts.
So
nuts.
instead of like Cheetos, it could be like
I left the cheese
I like
nut
cheese
up
nuts.
there.
lion balls.
You like cheese, cock, and balls?
I left the cheese nut up in the air vent.
I like a cheese nut.
Cheese nut.
I like the cheese nut.
It's the least comfort.
No, that makes it worse, actually.
Well,
Mr. Skuff, that does not make me feel more comfortable with this situation. Where's the Overseer?
She should still be in her office.
yeah.
All right, Mr. Smith, and the Overseer walks up behind you guys and sort of pushes her way through. I mean, gently. She isn't like mean about it, but she pushes her way through and she says, "Listen, Mr. Smith, I understand that you are concerned, but this is going to be dangerous for everybody. The most important thing we need to do is make connections with any other people that are out there, right? We need to establish alliances, establish ourselves as a community.
We gotta make
We
friends.
can't just sit. Yeah, we can't just sit in our camp and not talk to anybody. That's not gonna cut it. And last night, I don't know if you know this, but Aunt and her friends, they all snuck out of their damn rooms and did all kinds of crazy shit. And they pulled all of it off. I mean, they put together a plan over the course of a day, and they pretty much flawlessly executed it.
Aunt is just now sitting there a little tense, like, I didn't tell my dad that. I just told him I went down.
Mr. Smith definitely looks at you. Definitely looks at you. What did you do last night? Cried myself to sleep.
Do you know the Overseer's son?
I do.
Well, I tried to beat him up.
Did we? I forget if we did talk about this. I think we might have.
We might have. I think it was more like Isaiah. I think her horrible lie was Isaiah came into the room to beat her up.
The guards kind of came into the room, but anyway.
Didn't Mr. Smith see your black eye?
Did.
I think so.
No.
Down.
Yeah, I went down. Where were you going down?
Down.
No, down.
Anyway, we're not going to repeat the bit. Mr. Smith looks at the Overseer and says, "All right, she can go, but..." And he puts his finger up like, like a 1. After this little expedition of yours, Overseer, she's coming back to Camp Barrow. All right? And he looks down at you. And he says, "Aunt, don't get yourself killed."
I'd rather not be dead. I would definitely. That seems like a very obvious thing. I would rather not be dead.
I mean, the air is very tense. Like, you can feel it.
I just want to point out, because we kind of forgot, the Smiths do have a son. He's unnamed and never popped up until now, but we kind of just said only the two of them. Like, no, there's a third in there.
Yeah, that is true.
A
Hold
third
on,
that
I
we
haven't
don't
named
care.
him.
A third we don't care for.
I haven't named him, but maybe I'll have him show up right now.
Is he older or younger?
His name is Ken, named after Ken4656 on iTunes for the review. Thank you very much.
Oh yeah, and I forgot doesn't he have like a wife and kids or something? That's why it's the two of them.
I think he has his own family.
Yeah, he moved out.
Let me find. I know I have the guy's full name somewhere, so I can credit him properly. It is somewhere. You know what? I will credit him fully, Ken. Thank you. I will credit you fully in the end of the episode. Anyway, named after Ken on iTunes and on Twitter. Thank you very much. Ken, the son of the Smiths, walks up next to you. He kind of towers over you, right? He's like 6 foot something. He's pretty tall.
My goodness.
5'11"
versus 6 foot tall.
5'11", 6 foot, and it's like the urinal on top of the other that says men, boys. He walks up and starts talking to the Smiths, and they kind of peel off and start chatting. Everybody's here. Everyone in the vault is here at the entrance now.
Wait, I'm gonna turn to Mandy. Do you still have the walkie-talkie?
Oh shoot. I do. I have mine, but didn't yours get confiscated?
Oh yeah, Miss Overseer. Do you know where?
Yeah.
Do you know where the other half of this walkie-talkie is?
Did it get split in half?
No. I mean, there's 2 of them, so you could talk to each other, and the other one was confiscated.
Yeah. I'll be back in a couple minutes. I'll go get that.
Yeah.
Do you know which one of them confiscated it? Was one of the vault security guys?
I think it was one of the vault security.
Alright, yeah. I'll go grab it from one of them. You guys just stay put. And she walks off, to go figure that out. Yeah, I mean, so is there any last things you guys want to talk about before things get rolling?
What I'm gonna do is once I get the walkie-talkie, I'm gonna give it to the Smiths. So we have one half and they have the other, so not only can we stay in contact with the rest of the camp, like the Overseer and stuff, but Aunt can, reassure family, hey, I'm alive.
That's interesting. That's not at all what I thought you guys were going to do with that.
No, I legit just thought of that. I was like, hey, not only can we talk to the rest of the camp,
okay,
like the Overseer, but Aunt can also just talk to her family. And hey, that also means that Mandy can talk to her dad. The one that was critically stabbed by someone.
Speaking of, he is being kind of rolled out on like a gurney now. And he kind of rolls up next to Mandy. She kind of tells him what's going on about the expedition, and he's a lot calmer than Mr. Smith was about it. I mean, he doesn't approve of it, but he's like, well, I mean, everyone's going to be in danger, so.
It's not like I can stop you.
I'm gonna...
Because I got stabbed!
What am I going to do, physically overpower you? No, I don't think so.
I'm gonna smile and wave at Mandy's father.
You bastard.
He, stares at you, glares at you. You can see his glare cutting through your soul.
I am now
And then
dead.
he, nods his head at the guy pushing him, and he pushes him away.
Nice.
Justin Carey will remember that. The Overseer comes back with the walkie-talkie and hands it to you guys. She says, yep, I got it.
I'm gonna turn her around, and I'm gonna hand it over to Ken, and I'm gonna be like, hey, keep this with you guys, because not only can I talk to you guys when I'm gone, let you know I'm safe, but we could all reach the camp and tell everyone if there's any big news, like food and stuff. Communication.
He takes it and he says, oh, that works, thank you.
God, his voice is so deep. Holy shit.
Thank you. Thank you. And he...
Mr. Obama!
What?
It sounds like whenever you try doing an Obama impression.
Hello, my name is Barack Obama.
What's Obama's last name?
The second. My father was also named Barack Obama.
The second.
The second.
Barack Obama the second Jr.
I am Barack Obama the second Jr. And I was the 44th president of the United States.
I'm gonna fucking cry. Anyway, I'm sorry for insulting Ken's horribly deep voice.
Oh, was that an insult? I thought you were just saying it was very deep.
It's not much of an insult, but I'm scared I might have been insulting.
Yeah. All of a sudden, the intercom clicks on, with a buzz of sound squeaking and creaking out like metal bars scraping against each other. Everyone, please stay behind the yellow line, the voice of Timothy says. The crowd of people steps back, their hearts all beating in their chests in unison, finally reaching this day they have waited over 100 years for. Every one of them has their pictures of what lies outside. A cold wasteland, empty and abandoned, land sprawling out for miles, an army of wastelanders ready to conquer the Vault Dwellers, a horde of mutated beasts. In just a few moments, any of their expectations could be shattered. Metal groans as locks thunk and clink away, the vault door slowly spinning. A rush of cold air bursts in, everyone closing their eyes as timid white light pokes its way into the vault through the crack. Several Vault Dwellers put on their coats, backing away from the door, while others rush towards it, only to be pushed gently back by vault security. As the door creaks and groans, it spins the rest of the way open, the first view of outside you have ever seen in your life. It is nothing like you read about in the books. An ocean of ice sprawls out before you, cracks through its dark water peaks. A shattered mess of wood and metal hides under the ice, poking straight out from the shoreline. Ships lie on the ground, toppled, with metal shipping containers that were once red and green and blue and yellow, now all stained the same gray color. The door lurches to a stop. Vault security stands completely still as the intercom sparks to life again. Please exit the vault in an orderly fashion.
They said Alaska was so cold. They said to live there you gotta be oh so bold. They never knew just what we had till it was gone. Alaska, where'd you go? Alaska, where'd you go? Alaska, where'd you go? Why'd you go away? Alaska, where'd you go? Alaska, where did you go? Alaska, where'd you go? Why'd you go away? Yeah. They said Alaska must be cold. They said to live there you must be oh so bold. They never knew just what we had till it was gone, all gone.
Hey everybody, this is your Overseer Max here. I wanted to thank you, as always, for listening to this episode. This is the second episode of our second arc, Beat 'em to Deadhorse. Things are finally getting rolling, right? Everyone's getting out of the vault now. They got a job to do. This episode we kind of pushed out in a hurry, right? I mean, we only recorded this on the 8th of December, and this is going out tomorrow, actually in like 12 and a half hours. So I was really busting my ass to get this one edited. I think it went pretty well. About as well as you would expect, right? As always, you can find us on Twitter at FalloutSOTN on Twitter. You can find us on Twitter. I don't know if you know that, but we have a Twitter. It's on Twitter. If you tweet at us or mention us or use the hashtags FalloutSOTN or hashtag Survivors of the North, you might possibly get on the show. You can also do that. Not get on the show. You might possibly get a character or a place named after you on the show. Speaking of which, we had one of those today, which was Ken Vigue, I think. Vigue. I think it's Vigue. It might be Vigue or something. But he actually has his own podcast. Chad, a Fallout 76 story, I think it's called. I listened to a couple episodes. I definitely intend to listen to more. Go check it out. It's very much, it's very self-aware of Fallout 76 and some of the jokes that go on there. Very good show. I would recommend listening to it. But thank you so much for the review on iTunes. We got a couple more character names probably coming up in the next episode or two. Not necessarily character names, but a couple more names from iTunes reviews coming up in the next episode or two. Probably, we'll see. They're not a guarantee that we'll see those instances, but they are there. We're also on Spotify now. I know I mentioned this just a few episodes, but we are on Spotify. You can find us there. We've added the links to the descriptions now. If you follow us on Twitter, hint hint, you would already know that we are on Spotify. So there's that. I think last time, or maybe for episode 5, I threw out the possibility that there might be an episode on Christmas as well as on the 27th. That's not going to happen. Reason being, we are not ahead on recording anymore. We were ahead on recording, and then we didn't. So now we're not. But we will have an episode on the 27th, and that will be the last episode for 2019. The next episode after that will be January 10th, of course. So we're really excited to be finishing out this year strong. We only launched in October, but we've been keeping a strong schedule in terms of at least releasing the episodes, and hopefully we can get ourselves ahead again relatively soon, especially since I'm going to have more time over the next couple of weeks once my semester ends. Last thing, you can review us on iTunes or Stitcher. I don't know if you can review on Spotify or Google Play, but if you review us on iTunes, it helps so much. And plus, I go check iTunes, I see another 5-star review with like 3 paragraphs of how much someone loves this show, and I'm like, oh my god, people like the show, people want to listen to the show, and that is very encouraging for all of us. So yeah, thank you for listening. Thank you for being supportive. Thank you for being here. One last thing. As always, gotta shout out the people over at r/VNV. You know the drill by now, but these are the guys who make this game a thing, who make Vaults Vertiberds a thing, who have put so much work into it, have been very supportive of this podcast going on. So shout out, as always, to those people over there. They have a Discord server now, actually, which is a good place to ask questions and get answers fairly quickly. Yeah, that is about it. Sorry for this one being a bit short. The last couple have been a bit short, but, expect about 50 minutes. Sometimes we'll get longer, but thank you. Next episode is on the 27th. Overseer out. I just remembered my little call tag from last episode. Bye.